Hello, Internet, and welcome back to the Story Nook. We're going to be continuing reading The Wizard of Oz, and I want to say, while you all take a moment to get your water, your tea, your coffee, your juice, whatever it is you want to drink, before we snuggle on in for story time. Thank you all for helping us reach 50 subscribers. I feel super duper happy that we've reached that before New Year's. And so next year the goal will be hopefully 100. Who knows? I did go see Wicked. It was awesome. It was great. And just for transparency, I'm recording all of these on I'm currently recording this on Christmas Eve. So what I have to drink is I've got some water I got from Popeyes. I've got a thing of Minute Maid lemonade, and I found Old Smoky Tennessee whiskey that's peanut butter flavored that I want to have drunk before the end of the day. In fact, let me go ahead and just take a sip of it. It's in like a tiny little flask. Let me pull up the webcam so you can see. Webcam. So yeah, it's in this tiny little flask. I think we got this at the liquor store for like a couple bucks. Does not taste good. We got a peanut butter tasting thing because we thought it would taste good. Does not. But last time, earlier today, when I was reading, before I went to see my relatives, we read chapter 22, which is The Country of the Quadlings. And now we are going to be reading chapter 23, which is Glinda grants Dorothy's wish. Still amazed that Glinda, is the witch of the South, because I grew up with her, being the witch of the North, thanks to the movie. I get why the concessions, the two were blended together, though. It makes perfect sense. But yeah, let us continue forward. We last left off here where they're just like, they'll see you now. So I believe this right here is supposed to be Glinda. And we got Dorothy and Toto. So thank you all for being here. Oh, is my cropping off? Filters. It looks like my cropping was off. And now I'm just like, I must fix it. No, it just gets cut off. Yeah. Before they went to see Glinda, however, they were taken to a room of the castle where Dorothy washed her face and combed her hair, because we must look nice before we see such a powerful person. And the lion shook the dust out of his mane, and the scarecrow patted himself into his best shape, and the woodman polished his tin and oiled his joints. I have a thought that just occurred to my brain. Tin man, woodman, couple, gay romance. I will write this later. If I don't remember it, somebody in the comments remind me about it. When they were all quite presentable, they followed the soldier girl into a big room where the witch Glinda sat upon a throne of rubies. She was both beautiful and young to their eyes. Her hair was a rich red in color and fell in flowing ringlets over her shoulders. So they did keep her design, or at least aspects of the design, when they created the Technicolor film. I don't know what year that film came out in. I just know it was the first film colored in Technicolor. So I think that's really cool. Her dress was pure white, but her eyes were blue, and they looked kindly upon the little girl. "What can I do for you, my child?" she asked. Dorothy told the witch all her story. how the cyclone had brought her to the land of Oz, how she found her companions, and the wonderful adventures they had met with. My greatest wish now, she added, is to get back to Kansas, for Aunt Em will surely think something dreadful has happened to me, and that will make her put on mourning. And unless the crops are better this year than they were last year, I am sure Uncle Henry cannot afford it. Glinda leaned forward and kissed the sweet, upturned face of the loving little girl. Bless your dear heart, she said. I am sure I can tell you a way to get back to Kansas. Then she added, but if I do, you must give me the golden cap. I wonder what she wants the golden cap for, though. I'm quite curious. What do you want it for? Do, do, do. Willingly, exclaimed Dorothy. Indeed, it is of no use to me now, and when you have it, you can command the winged monkeys 3 times. And I think I shall need their service just those 3 times, answered Glinda, smiling. Kind of curious about that. Dorothy then gave her the golden cap, and the witch said to the Scarecrow, what will you do when Dorothy has left us? I will return to the Emerald City, he replied, for Oz has made me its ruler, and the people like me. The only thing that worries me is how to cross the Hill of the Hammerheads. By means of the golden caps, I shall command the winged monkeys to carry you to the gates of the Emerald City, said Glinda, for it would be a shame to deprive the people of so wonderful a ruler. Am I really wonderful? Asked the Scarecrow. You are unusual, replied Glinda. Turning to the Tin Woodman, she asked, what will become of you when Dorothy leaves this country? He leaned on his axe and thought for a moment. Then he said, the Winkies were very kind to me, and wanted me to rule over them after the Wicked Witch died. I am fond of the Winkies, and if I could get back again to the country of the West, I should like nothing better than to rule over them forever. My second command to the winged monkeys, said Glinda, will be that they carry you safely to the land of Winkies. Your brain may not be so large to look at as those of the Scarecrow, but you are really brighter than he is when you are well polished. And I am sure you will rule the Winkies wisely and well. Then the witch looked at the big, shaggy lion and asked, when Dorothy has returned to your home, to her own home, what will become of you? Over the hill of the Hammerheads, he answered, lies a grand old forest, and all the beasts that live there have made me their king. If I could only get back to this forest, I would pass my life very happily there. My third command to the winged monkeys, said Glinda, shall be to carry you to the forest. Then, having used up the powers of the golden cap, I shall give it to the king of the monkeys, that he and his band may thereafter be free forevermore. Ooh. Interesting. So this is one of the attendants, and this here is Glinda. That's the golden cap that Dorothy's given her. As they're just like, we're gonna do this, this, and this. Which I think is super interesting. And look at her. She's so pretty. This is a really lovely illustration they have here. The Scarecrow and the Tin Woodman and the Lion now thanked the Good Witch earnestly for her kindness, and Dorothy exclaimed, "You are certainly as good as you are beautiful, but you have not yet told me how to get back to Kansas." "Your silver shoes will carry you over the desert," replied Glinda. "If you have known their power, you could have gone back to your Aunt Em the very first day you came to this country." "But then I should not have had my wonderful brains," cried the Scarecrow. "I might have passed my whole life in the farmer's cornfield." "And I should not have my lovely heart," said the Tin Woodman. I might have stood and rusted in the forest till the end of the world. And I should have lived a coward forever, declared the lion, and no beast in all the forest would have had a good word to say to me. This is all true, said Dorothy, and I am glad I was of use to these good friends. But now that each of them has had what he most desired, and each is happy in having a kingdom to rule beside, I think I should like to go back to Kansas. The silver shoes, said the good witch, have a wonderful powers, and one of the most curious things about them is that they can carry you to any place in the world in 3 steps, and each step will be made in the wink of an eye. All you have to do is knock the heels together 3 times and command the shoes to carry you wherever you wish to go. Is that so? The child said joyfully. I will ask them to carry me back to Kansas at once. She threw her arms around the lion's neck and kissed him, patting his big head tenderly. Then she kissed the Tin Woodman, who was weeping in a way most dangerous to his joints. Then she hugged the soft and stuffy body of the Scarecrow in her arms instead of kissing his painted face, and found that she was crying herself at this sorrowful parting from her loving comrades. Glinda the Good stepped down from her ruby throne to give the little girl a goodbye kiss, and Dorothy thanked her for all the kindness she had shown her friends and herself. Dorothy now took Toto up solemnly in her arms, and having said one last goodbye, she clapped the heels of her shoes together 3 times. Take me home to Aunt Em. Instantly she was whirling through the air, so swiftly that all she could see or feel was the wind whistling past her ears. The silver shoes took but 3 steps, and then she stopped so suddenly that she rolled over upon the grass several times before she knew where she was. At length, however, she sat up and looked about her. Good gracious, she cried, for she was sitting on the broad Kansas prairie, and just before her was the new farmhouse Uncle Henry built after the cyclone had carried away the old one. Uncle Henry was milking the cows in the barnyard, and Toto had jumped out of her arms and was running toward the barn, barking joyously. Dorothy stood up and found that she was in her stocking feet, for the silver shoes had fallen off her in her flight for the air, and were lost forever in the desert. 1, 2, 3, and the golden cap. And our next chapter is Home Again. But woo! That is the 23rd chapter of The Wizard of Oz, so thank you all so much for joining me here. We have one more chapter to read, and then we will have read all of The Wizard of Oz. Isn't that great? Isn't it wonderful? It sounds awesome. But let me thank our wonderful supporters, my supporters on Patreon and Ko-fi: Tweed Tea Cakes, Axe1154, Kaleidoscope Chick, Cassie G, Jettis DS, Axel Alcaraz, Simi Random Sevens, and Micah. Thank you all very much. If any of y'all are curious, Patreon, Ko-fi, y'all get early access to a lot of my artwork, my script writing. Ko-fi is where I have commissions. If you do support me via Ko-fi, I do a sketch for you every month. I do a sketch for you for every month or every donation, depending on how you want it done. I do a quick sketch of you for you, whatever you want, so long as it is safe for work. So yeah, I've also got Redbubble if you want to get any of my artwork on anything. I've got stickers, t-shirts, cards. These little art pieces that are flying by, one of them is the underground mask that I made, the little band mask. I've got some people asked me to design some chow. I did that. I've got mermaids. I've got the pride flags as mermaids. I got a couple of food mermaids. And then I've got a couple of just cute, adorable animals holding knives and swords, as well as uteruses and such. So, yeah, I've also got like some quotes from playing video games. Oh, I need to take my medication. That's what that alarm's going off for. So you all have a lovely day. Remember to stay hydrated, stay safe, and have a great day. Alrighty, bye-bye.